So let's start from the beginning. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and I walked away at 22 years old. I had a young child. I had him when I was 19 out of wedlock, and his biological father was not involved. So I was trying to figure it out on my own, and then it wasn't working out so well, and I tried, and it just didn't feel right, and I just didn't want to keep doing the same thing, and put my son through a life that I experienced myself when obviously I wasn't happy. So I walked away at 22 years old. And that was one of the hardest, but one of the best decisions I've ever made. Because with Jehovah's Witnesses, when you walk away, it is a decision between what you want and staying in the family. That means no contact. That means you no longer are alive to us. You are no longer part of this family. And that's the decision that I had to make. Fortunately, I have two sisters. I have a twin sister and an older sister, and I love them dearly. And they both have their own walks as well. And we've stayed in contact, and we've all grown, and we've had our ups and our downs, but ultimately we all have our own walk. And that is not as a Jehovah's Witness, because it's not the right one. I've tried many different things of walking out of the religion and just having no interest in a relationship with God. I didn't want to be accountable for anything. I didn't want to be deceived again. And that was a really selfish phase of mine. I was really loud. I was really mean. And I was really all about me, because I was finally heard and I finally had a voice. And then I went through a phase of softening. And, I had gone to a couple different churches, and I wanted it to work out. And I needed to fill that void that I had without God in my life. And I definitely wasn't going back to being a Jehovah's Witness, but I was looking for God. And I went to some churches with a friend, and it was just more routine than a relationship with him. And I was astonished by the people talking during the sermon, and people just being disrespectful. And I was like, wow, it's not for me to judge others. It was just very discouraging for me on my walk to look for a place filled with God, and thinking, oh, it was only as Jehovah's Witnesses that it wasn't filled with God. But there's still a lot of churches out there too that they have their religion, they have the rules and regulations and their way of doing things, but they don't have a relationship with God. And that's what I was looking for. So then I went into a phase of spiritual. Oh, I'm a spiritual person. I don't have religion, but I have a relationship with God. I have a connection with Him, I guess would be a better way of saying it. I'm a good person. I do good things. I'm aware of myself, and God loves me and I love Him, and I'll just have to figure it out in the end, because I don't trust any religion. That didn't really get me anywhere either. And then Greg Laurie, my husband and I were listening to him on the radio, and then we started watching his online church. And he is such a kind man, and he has such a good way of explaining things. He's a wonderful start. And they even have a New Believer's Bible to help you relearn and understand. It's not a full replacement like the New World Translations with the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's an aid. You definitely want to use your regular Bible. I have my New King James. That's my go-to. And he was great, and then we were hungry for more. So then we were looking for churches in our area, and we tried a couple of different ones, and we were at one for a couple of years, and this was during COVID. And it was interesting to have gone somewhere for 2 years, and they don't even know you personally. You try, you go to the women's Bible studies, and you try to learn a deeper understanding, and it ends up being more of a tea party. Let's just have a conversation, and we'll joke around, and we're going to read this book, and we all do it together, and that's growth. No, it's not. I was hungry for more. I needed Bible school so that I could truly understand, and someone to take the time to help me relearn what I was taught, because what I was taught was wrong. And it's harder. In my mind, it was almost harder to unlearn what you learned and were raised in for so long to relearn than to not know it all. I can't speak for somebody else saying that if you have no religion, that it's easier. But for me, I found it very difficult to know something and then know that it's wrong and then try to unlearn what you were taught, because you're seeking a true relationship with God. That was what was most important. So we decided, you know what, this church isn't really helping us. We're not growing, and they're just teaching basic information, and they're not really concerned about their people. So we ended up trying a couple other ones, and I consider it a dead church when they're just repetition. There's no personality, there's no personal communication or concern, and there's no concern for your personal growth. So now we go to church online, and we are being led to deepen our knowledge and our understanding, and that's a beautiful thing, and I am so thankful to God for that. Now, for me, I've really been influenced by all of the other Christians out there that are speaking out, and they're doing their videos, and they're trying to help others with no cost to themselves. Like, they're not worried about what it's taking away from myself or my day, or, oh my gosh, I'm out on the video putting my story out there. That's a very selfish part of me, of wanting to keep it to myself and just be me, and that's between me and God. Well, it's not. He has created me for a reason, and I'm here to share my story and to help others and to not be selfish. So this is my story, and I'm sharing it for His glory. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will post another video soon. Have a good day. God bless.